Tits of the house.
Tits. Hello.
Welcome. This week we have a very special guest, Mr. Rob Cohen.
Hello, everyone. Tits.
Welcome to Tits of the House.
Excited to be here.
We're so honored to have you here because I would say Rob is one of our more interesting friends.
Rob is one of our most fun, interesting, wildest, craziest, vicariously living through Rob friends.
Yes. Well, we had that lunch in Palm I recently, and I was just telling you normal stuff about what was going on in my life, and like you guys were like
We had to
very
pick our
interested.
jaws up off the floor, and we
Yeah.
thought we've got to have you on the podcast.
I'm excited to be here and talk about.
Okay, first
tits.
of all, we didn't just have a lunch in Palm Springs. Hillary and I were posted on Instagram like the children we are.
Yes, we were making videos.
Hillary was chewing her bubble gum.
Oh my God, why do you have to out me like that? I have a problem, okay?
She loves bubble gum. So we're making videos and Rob DMs and it's like, hey, I'm going to the BFF in Palm Springs. Can we meet up? Wait, am I saying yes? The B.
And tell us what BFF stands for, because it's not best friends forever, is it?
No, it's obviously by Fuckfest.
Oh.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows that.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, duh.
What else could it mean? Yeah, that was my first BFF. We happened to be in Palm Springs at the same time.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to go to BFF for a while now. I finally made it. And it was everything I ever dreamed of. And
Was it when you say I've been trying to go to BFF for a while, do you have to get an invite? Like
you do.
Is it like Raya, where you need to be invited by someone important?
Okay.
Yes, you kind of have to get invited. There's no like website for it. But
No, I know, because I was like, what is BFF?
Yeah.
I tried to Google this, because I was like, what is he doing out here? What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you won't find it online. You kind of
It's
have
not-
to know.
It's like, and now I'm picturing one of those, like, eyes wide shut situations where
Yeah.
it's like a secret invitation and you have like a mask and a blindfold. Is it like that?
That's what you would think. It's actually much more like normal and chill and like kind of downscale than you would think. I mean, like we're eating like supermarket deli sandwiches.
Okay, now I'm picturing
and, like, what's that? Panda Express for dinner.
Oh my
like,
God, this is like a white
kinda
trash picnic
I'm
and
picturing-
fucking party.
Firefest, like,
Yeah, a little bit. Like you
Lunchables.
imagine like seeding grapes and fanning each other like a bucket.
Oh my God, will you get me a Mexican pizza while I'm fucking this guy?
It's more like typical Palm Springs.
okay, so.
But you do need to get an invite, and I've been trying to go and for a couple years, and then I got into a film festival and couldn't go, and then last year I was supposed to go and I got COVID, so this was my third attempt.
The
and I
universe
finally-
was like, it is your time.
Yes.
Yeah, the
finally.
universe was like, let's get Rob some Panda Express and pussy and penis.
All three.
The three
At
P's that he's been dying for.
The 3 P's. Those are the 3 P's. Pussy, penis, Panda Express.
I think I found my limit, you guys. I think I found my line.
Let's just, Hillary, when Rob called us and we're like, what is the BFF? And he
We
was
thought that we could go and observe and like take notes, like we're sociologists.
I wish.
I was like, we're going. Hillary's like, what? I'm like, I think, I honestly think Hillary and I need to go to places like this and interview people.
You should. It
Can we
would
get
be
a
fun,
press
but-
pass?
Yes, I'll ask them about that. Yeah, I mean, I wish you could go. You should come. You kind of have to be bi. That's like the main part.
Isn't everyone a little gay?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's talk about this, okay?
Yeah.
Let's rewind.
Okay, yeah.
Because
We'll
we
get-
really
we'll get to
came
the
in
main event.
strong. I think we gotta lube up our audience, if you will.
Yeah. You have to before you penetrate. You gotta like loosen
Yes,
things up a
yes,
little.
yeah.
Do some poppers. Let's do some poppers.
how did we get here, Rob? You were not always this way.
No.
This open, this in touch with your sexuality. Tell us a little bit about your journey of going from someone who considered themselves straight to
for many years.
Something else.
Yeah, it was a long journey. I identified as straight until my early 30s. And I enjoyed being with women. The relationships felt real. It was all good. But I was like repressing this other part of myself. And I just, for a long time, didn't think that bi was a real thing. I was just like, well, I'm like women, and so these other thoughts don't really matter.
What thoughts?
Like thoughts about men, like looking at underwear ads, checking things out, noticing they were hot. And then in my mid to late 20s, I would start watching gay porn. And I was like, interesting thing for a straight person to do. Started to realize maybe I'm not straight, and maybe I want to do those things in person. And then struggled with like, what does that mean? Am I really gay? That was the fear, was like, oh, I'm really gay. And then finally just like started exploring it and was like, oh, I had this revelation, which in hindsight seems so normal, but it was like, oh, this is so similar. Like I didn't think, oh my God, being with men is this wildly different thing that I now can't ever live without. It was just like, oh, I like that too. It feels very similar to being with women. Why would I not explore that also? But also, I'm still the same person. I wasn't lying to myself all those years in relationships with women. It was just like, oh, this is the same.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that men complain just as much as us too? Because
they're just as annoying as
really?
As women.
Money. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because you go, it's the same.
I mean, it's the same and it's also different.
I think men complain.
Yeah.
Men complain a lot.
Yeah. They complain about how much women talk. We know that now.
They complain about us not shaving. It's the most Googled question. So
really?
No. It's one of the most. We've done some research about the questions men have for the internet about marriage and the questions women have. And we did an episode on that. And we found that men want women to talk less and women want men to talk more. Yeah.
Interesting. I get the second part, because men don't talk about real stuff enough.
Okay, so tell us your experience. Are men like women? I mean, when you say it's the same, is it? Because it makes me think, do men complain? Do you find the relationship to be better? Because women are like, not all women are like so emotionally driven, like, you know.
Yeah, not all women are good at emotional stuff, and women have issues as well. I haven't dated that many men though. Like I've dated a few, and I thought it was good. Like it was fun. I never had a serious connection, but same issues come up. The men and women, it feels pretty different with sex though, which is mostly how I've explored the male side of sexuality. Is like I've only dated a few people, but I've had a lot of sex. And it's much harder to have casual, anonymous sex with women than it is with men.
No shit. We will stalk you. We'll find ya.
Yeah. There are not that many women cruising in Poinsettia Park, for example, after midnight.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. You tell me. Why not? Because I think it can be fun.
Cruising in Poinsettia Park?
I think it's because women can get pregnant.
Yeah.
I think that there's like there's a responsibility and a pressure. Also, society tells us to be like good girls and not to enjoy pleasures unless it's love
serious.
Or marriage or those conditions have been put on us.
Right.
I think there's that too.
I think there is a lot of that too. But I also think, like, I hate to say it, you could be with a guy, like, in the middle of a museum and be like, ugh, I'm horny. And he'll be, let me find your painting to pull down really quick.
I think that's every guy. What do you
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's different.
They're ready to do that.
Pull down their pants anywhere at any time. Oh, let's just do this.
They are. And they have so much trouble sometimes convincing women to do that. And that's why if they would just be open to men, they could have all the sex they want.
Why do you think more men aren't open to that?
I guess it's like the sex drive is higher and they just don't give a fuck, and like it's for a long time it's like when I dated only women, it's like it takes a lot of time and effort to get to the sex part. And if you're dating someone, it's worth it. But sometimes it's just like you want sex. You don't want to go through all the other stuff. Like no strings attached sex can be fun. And that's hard to do. And
women are like, bitch, you better buy me a gift, take me to dinner, a kiss on this neck.
There are no rules. Like there's 3 dates, and they need to be dinner dates, and they need. Yeah, I know girls are annoying. I was like that. I am a girl.
Yeah. So are you still? Like that?
A little bit. Yeah. I don't like it about myself, but it is like you want to feel a certain way.
Is it like a condition of like getting to the arousal of sex to feel that kind of safety or comfort with someone? Is that, or is it?
I think I want to see some effort.
Hillary definitely wants to see some effort. She's like, you're gonna work for this. I can already see that.
That's good. Maybe it's just like women have more self-worth, so it's like if someone wants to have sex with you, you're like, they better earn it and work for it. If someone wants to have sex with me, I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't think of sex like this intimate. It's just like a thing, you know? I don't think of it like that. I really don't, although like I would have to choke my own husband down if he cheated on me because I'm not in an open marriage, Rob, okay? At all. But I still don't think of sex like this intimate, personal pride. Like, it's just not. Like, I can see how you could be like, well, it's just not to me. It's just sex. Like, it.
Right. That's my evolution has been exactly that, where it was like, it was this built up thing for me, and it should only happen in serious relationships. That was how I thought about it for a long time. And then finally, the more I did it, especially with men too, it's just like, oh, this is a fun thing. It feels good. It can be nice when it's connected to a relationship and it feels deeper and great, but it can also feel good outside of all that. Like, it just is nice.
I think we're conditioned our brains to be one way, and I think religion is a big part of it too.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the younger generation is more open to new ideas, open to bisexuality, open to sex that isn't for marriage or a relationship. I think that things are kind of evolving. We now know everything's on a spectrum, and I think that's something you kind of lived.
Yeah, and I almost wish I was born 15 years later. I would have like learned that as a kid. Instead, I was like very repressed until my late 20s because I grew up in that, like, it's black and white. There's not a spectrum and all these rules and boxes. But yeah, now like they did a study a couple years ago, 18 to 24-year-olds, like the youngest group, half of them identify as something other than straight. And most of them are in the middle. It's like in the bi range, not gay or lesbian. So like it is that the spectrum is becoming much more accepted among young people. Yeah.
I mean, even just like the Kinsey scale, like we know this stuff, but I think our culture puts shame and judgment on people's choices. So you are in an open marriage.
Yeah, I'm in an open relationship, but sometimes when we want to spice things up, we'll try monogamy.
You just want to be, but does it really? Does it spice things up to try monogamy? Does it spice things up when you try? Like, I'm not gonna be with anyone else.
No, that's a joke in my set. But we literally tried it at certain points. I mean, in the pandemic, we did it out of necessity because we were scared. But we've also tried it like toward the beginning of our relationship, and at other times, like, let's do a month of monogamy and see how it goes. And it does like change the way we relate to each other, and we like, we spent more time together. We thought about our connection more without other things, and it was a nice change of pace. And then at the end of the month, we were like, we're done with that. Let's go fuck other people. I was like, I'm done with that. I don't know, maybe she would have wanted to continue, but Now she has more sex than I do outside of our relationship, so she's enjoying it.
And how does that work? How do you...
You put the penis in
the vagina.
Go on.
Move back and forth.
How do you hear about her outside?
We talk about it. I mean...
And do you like hearing about it?
I do.
Do you
I don't... Yeah.
She get jealous. I'm asking for a friend.
She like... sometimes. So she doesn't want to hear many details about me, but she does want to know, like, who I'm dating, or, you know, she doesn't want to know everything.
She'll just keep tabs, but loosely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas I'm more open to hearing details and learning more about it. Like, when she's with someone she likes, I'm happy for her. Like, it's the opposite of jealousy. It's compersion, I think that's what it's called, where it's like, you feel good when your partner has pleasure of any kind.
Oh my God.
But I will say...
No, not me. Not me. I would rather my husband...
She wants her husband miserable and alone, waiting for her, hungry, cold, shivering. Betsy,
is he in the basement? Is he like chained up in the basement?
He might be.
That would be perfect.
If my vagina broke, like if it broke down and it all of a sudden collapsed and didn't work anymore, I would just be like, oh, that's so sad for you, honey. Well, let's start cuddling.
We'll get you a pocket pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might get jealous of the pocket pussy.
I believe that. I believe you would.
So...
Yeah. Well,
but, like, it's hard, too. You don't go, like, it's such a weird thing to me. Like, does she ever say, was this person better in bed than me? Because that's what I'd be like, oh my God, comparing myself. Am I insecure?
Yeah.
I would be comparing myself, like, what if he likes her vagina better than mine? Like, that's like a thing, right?
But this is, I want to hear your answer, and then I have an opinion on this.
Okay.
Well, when it's that kind of a comparison, that's when sometimes jealousy has bubbled up in me. Like, yeah, I don't love to be compared to the other person who's better or worse, or both sexually and also, like, emotionally. The other day we got in a kind of not a huge fight, but I was, like, a little annoyed because I reacted to something and she was like, this other guy would have reacted this way. And I was like, well, he's a different person and we've been in a relationship for 6 years, so, like, don't compare me to that. You know, that did get me a little... I don't even know if it was jealousy, but it was like, I don't like to be compared.
Like me
We should both be great in unique ways, and I'm glad you have that, and I'm glad we have this, and they're different.
It's a little bit like parenting. I have two girls, and...
Which do you like better?
But you're not supposed to compare them. I read this book, Siblings Without Rivalry, and it's... You're my favorite Dolly, you're my favorite Goldie. Because anything that's comparison is going to make them both feel less than.
Yeah.
Because equal is not fair. They each want to have more of my love, more of my attention. And the jealousy, I feel like, is such a human emotion. Yeah. And actually, she was comparing you in a way that kind of set you up to have those feelings.
Yeah.
That is just a normal reaction.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a totally separate relationship. That is your wife.
Yeah.
You've been with for 6 years.
Right.
So, to your point, I don't know, because I'm not in it, but I don't have the same kind of jealousy. I have many other issues. That's not really one of them. I would think, oh, if I'm okay with this person having relationships, then it is a different box. I'm in this box, they're in that box. It's apples and oranges.
Right.
Or eggplants and peaches. I don't know. And I think you've got to find a mind space. Or you would be jealous all the time.
Well, it's okay. Let me just pretend your husband came home and was like, oh, this girl at work, she's so sweet to me. Oh, if I mess up, she doesn't talk to me like you do, Hillary.
But that's setting me up to feel horrible. That's
right.
Exactly
right. That's when
that's not that's not how it
so
goes.
What now wait a minute. Do you want to hear about somebody else's vagina, or if they were this or
but
that?
If I made
By the way, you have such a pretty profile. I've never looked at Hillary from the side so much, and I'm like, wow, Hillary has such nice features.
Betsy, are you hitting on me right now? What is happening?
No, but I love
You should open up your marriage.
She bought me this ring, and we have matching rings.
Shout out to Lovable.
Adorable.
They're BFF rings. So we'll be at the Bi-Fuck Fest next year with our BFF Bi-Fuck
Like,
ring.
we can get in, right? We have the rings.
If you have a heart ring, you're
We
good.
have a heart.
I like when you set it up that way. It creates that jealousy, but
But going back to the framework where you're like, I'm bisexual, you're bisexual, and we're in an open relationship, I think sets up.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, it makes it that where it's like...
If my husband came home and was talking about some other woman from work, like, I would be devastated.
Yeah.
But this is not that.
No, well, because that would be surprising and not part of an agreement.
Not surprising. Men abuse their position of power all the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But obviously, too, is you're both doing it. So it's not like one's doing it and one's like sitting here like...
It's fair.
Yeah.
And as long as we're not comparing each other, like, I like that she gets something different out of it. It takes pressure off me to be everything for my partner. And it takes pressure off her to fill all my needs that, I have interests that maybe she doesn't, and then we can get it elsewhere. And like, there's the new relation.
The way you put that just now.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure to be everything for someone.
You just get very used to disappointing someone.
Yeah,
totally.
That's
like
what
I like she can, if I'm not into something, I like that, and or if I'm not a certain way that she likes real dominant men, for example, and like I could kind of do that, but it's not my natural state. I'm more of a sub-top.
Yeah.
But and then there's also
I love that sub.
Yes,
sub-top.
teach
Like
us
you
the
sub
lingo.
in.
So-
Like you sub in.
I mean, yes, but like the top is like the penetrator. So in most straight relationships, the guy is the top. Although, you could peg someone, I guess, if you wanted. Then you would be the top.
More on that
We'll get to pegging. So most straight relationships, the guy is the top, the woman is the bottom. But then there's also the dominant, submissive dynamic. And so in again, most heterosexual relationships, the standard is the man is dominant, the woman is submissive. But I found that I didn't always love that role. And I was being put in that role by default with women. And when I then I gravitated toward more dominant women. And then when I started hooking up with men, I also realized I enjoy the submissive role as well. So I'm more of a sub-top, but verse.
Oh, I think I'm a sub-top too.
Yeah.
I do. I think I'm completely submissive in my relation. Like, my husband is dominant, but I'm also extremely dominant.
Interesting.
Like, not I get on top, but I'm just saying, like, in my relationship, I can handle a lot. I take care of a lot, and I do a lot. I hate to say it, you're like that too. Is that are you mad at me? I think because you're very in charge.
We have male energy.
That's dominant. That's not top though. That's just
not
dom.
sexual.
You're actually, that's like dom energy.
That's what energy?
Dom.
They call it dom?
Yeah.
Dominant because I'm dominant?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like a dom bottom, probably. Well,
I like being on the bottom and just laying there. I'm just being honest.
okay, but even if you are physically on top of a guy having sex, if he's penetrating you, you're still the bottom. Even if you're on top of him.
Are you pegging your husband?
No, I don't peg him.
That would be top.
That's the difference. Sexually speaking.
Like if I was just like fucking him in the ass.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm not doing that. I'm mostly just laying there enjoying the ride.
So you're
laying there relaxing.
You're like a power bottom. You're like a tom bottom.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm not a sub-top.
No.
Or okay.
You're the opposite.
But I am a boss.
Yeah, dom.
Okay.
That's dom. Yeah.
You're a dominant bottom.
Okay.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yes.
But it's good for people to know, because you might want to know where you are. And you can always DM Rob.
Yeah, I can help you figure it out. I'm happy to help. Yes, and they're two different spectrums. They're separate. You could be a dom top, a sub bottom, a sub top, a dom bottom.
And how do you find what you're looking for outside of your marriage?
Good question. Walk around Poinsettia Park and walk around.
Live in West Hollywood. Okay.
There is cruising, which I don't love to do in public because there's no like filter. Anyone can just show up. But I do go to like a decent amount of male sex parties and BFF and straight sex. But the male sex parties are really frequent and cheap, so you can go to those. I like those. I have a whole set about the masturbation parties. And then there's the apps, like there's Grindr, there's Sniffies, which is like a app for cruising virtually.
Sniffies?
Yeah.
Well, when you say cruising, you're cruising around looking for people, or you found someone, you get in the car together.
So Sniffies is a cruising app, but you're doing it on the phone first, and then you go
And
find
they have
someone.
a profile? Is it just dicks?
Yeah, the you're allowed to have NSFW pictures on this app because it's like a website, not an app. So it's a map. You can see people on a map
With dicks?
with dicks all
Okay,
over.
but what if the dick looks good and then you see him in person and you're like, that ain't...
It happens. It happens. I mean, you can
Then what do you
leave.
do?
You can leave.
I guess you put on a pair of sunglasses and only look down.
Yeah, or you just close your eyes, or you ask for photos beforehand.
Yeah, how...
Oh my God.
That's what I do, but still sometimes they send a photo and you get there and it's like...
It doesn't look like...
the same.
Oh my God.
It's like
And you
them
get
from
dick
20 years
fished?
ago.
Yeah.
Is that called dick fish?
Dick fished. I like that. Sure. Never heard that, but you can coin that.
I mean, is it? It would be like a titties only app and be like, you got tit fish. I don't know what to
That would be fun if there was a women's cruising app.
Wait,
Just
are there
titties
are there apps for...
Wait, there
hooking up?
is.
Wait,
It's called Mardi Gras.
are there apps for women? No.
Not
this
like
is a
this.
man.
Not
Yeah,
like for
This
cruising.
is a man thing.
No, there are
I mean-
apps for women, you guys. But it's not a cruising app. It's not. You're not going to
Yeah.
meet up in a car and get your nipple sucked. Like you're
No.
literally the app is
You move in
those.
together.
Yeah, you take naked pictures of yourself from the neck down, and men say they want
What's
to
the
pay to
app?
fuck you. It's called there are like a bunch of them, but
For men.
Ashley Madison was one for everyone.
That was
Yeah.
for
to have
married
affairs.
but
For
yeah.
affairs.
But they're what are they called? They're like the gold digger girls. They're-
Sugar baby?
Oh,
That's
sugar
for
babies.
money.
Yeah,
That's
for
what I'm
money.
saying. They pay you.
These guys
but-
are doing this for free.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
so
saying.
much.
Fools.
That's why it's so good to
Because
be bi.
women-
You don't
women-
have to pay anything. You can get anything you
Yeah,
want.
women aren't gonna.
No. Women, if for certain things, you have to pay for.
But you pay for these sex parties.
Yeah, like $25.
For the food, not
Like
to fuck people.
a straight-
He's paying more than the Panda Express price at the
But
BFF.
that's like
That's once a year, twice a year.
Yeah.
A straight sex party I went to in LA was $300 for me. A gay sex party is $25. So,
why is that?
Well, where were the hotter people at?
well, I think why that is because it's just
Good question.
so much harder to get women to a sex party and then there's so many men that are interested in that. So you can charge $300 for men, and it's cheaper for women at the straight sex
guarantee
parties.
you
Usually
women
it's
are-
tiered pricing.
You know what
Women are
I like
getting
about
paid.
this?
Women are getting paid for those parties. That's why it's $300.
Some of them, yeah,
100%.
some of them.
I like that the women are able to make more money than men in these situations.
The one there.
One of
yeah.
one of the few situations
Yeah.
where women
yeah,
You want to know why they
do
make
better
money?
than men.
yeah.
I'll tell you why they make money. They're not excited about having a dick in their mouth. That's why they make money. They're
Some
like,
women
that's
are.
gotta go in here.
Okay.
It's more rare, but they are out there.
Yeah.
How many women? What is the ratio when you go to a straight sex party?
Of men and women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's often relatively even because they keep it that way and they stop selling tickets for men, and a lot of couples go. Maybe there's a few more men than women, but it's usually pretty even. But it's a lot of couples at a straight sex party. Like, BFF was the first place I went to where, like, it was very open and different people are having sex with each other, and it wasn't just, like, just couples. So BFF was pretty special.
And didn't you say you had to be something to go there?
Bi?
Yeah.
Technically,
there's not a lot of bi men.
Right. Technically, any woman can go. Any woman can go. You don't have to be bi. The men have to be bi. And the reason they say that is because there are so many swingers events where it's accepted that women can be bi, but if the men hook up with each other, it's looked down on or seen as weird.
Yeah.
So BFF is the place where bi men can be fully accepted. And so most of the women at BFF are bi anyway, but some of them are straight women married to a bi man, and so they wanted the space to be open to couples like that too. Because the point is, create a space where bi men can really explore this.
Do the straight women who are married to bi men hook up with other men? Or do you not know?
Good question. I'm trying to think of like, I met at least one straight woman, maybe two, but I'm not really sure. But I think they were. I think they were having group encounters.
And then you said there's a necklace with beads you wear, and if you don't want to have sex, you have like this bead, and you're just there for the party and the dancing.
Just noticing that your necklace says feral.
My friend bought it for me.
You should wear that to BFF.
That means she does not want to get fucked.
No, I say it. What do you think? Women are not like, oh, let me rip your hands out and suck your penis today. Yay! Like,
I mean, in the beginning of a relationship.
Okay, yes, when you're trying to get him. But like, listen, I'm not even gonna go there. I am married still. I want my husband to die happy, so I gladly do that. But I'm saying to you, you've been in relationships with women.
Yeah.
You before you even knew or thought about being bi. And were you getting your, you know what, the dot.
Why are you all coy all of a sudden? She has said sucking dick, and suddenly she's a church mouse. What?
Was I getting my asshole licked? Is that what you're asking?
No, I think she's just saying where girls were pulling your pants down and
No, it was harder. Like, I mean, I had sex, but it wasn't like super easy and all there. And certain things never happened. Like I didn't know that my nipples were sensitive and wired until I started hooking up with men, because women never touched my nipples.
They just lay there.
They just lay there.
All right, fine. I'll try to touch my husband's nipples. Thanks a lot, Rob, because if he watches this episode,
maybe they're sensitive. Like, I realize now that it's like they're wired, and now I know with women to ask for that and to tell them that I like that. But until I hooked up with men, I never even thought that was possible. I just like assumed these do nothing.
Men are more sexual, but because they've been raised to think it's okay for them. They should fuck everyone till they get married.
Right.
Go have fun. That's what men are raised to do. Yeah. And then women are raised to like get a husband and have a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and also for me with women, it put a lot of pressure on me to be that dominant top and just like be ready for sex and be like, the second you're in the bedroom, just like be hard and fuck them. And like, I started to realize, like, I would get in my head when I wasn't like getting aroused sometimes, like, what's going on? And do I not find this person attractive? Am I really gay? And now I've realized, no, like, it was being in that role put pressure on me. Then I'm in my head. Once you're thinking about getting hard, then you're not getting hard. And I've realized, like, I like to be touched. That's what does it for me more than visual and looking. Like, all of that helps. And touching other people, I like giving them pleasure.
Yeah.
But being touched is, like, I've realized, necessary component for me.
Oh,
and I only realized that when men were like wanting to touch me. And sometimes with women it was like they were expecting me to do things to them. They weren't like eager to touch me.
That's the repressed feeling women have. I'm a touchy person. I love touching my husband and grabbing on his nice butt, but I'm just saying he does have, like, I really feel bad about my butt a lot because he has a good butt. I'm like, I should have dated a guy with nuts. But I'm just saying in general, great. What
are you saying?
I'm saying I am a touchy person. I do feel like that's important. I feel like if you don't touch someone, touching is more important than, I would say, sex itself, because there's this emotional component to it. Like, even with your friends, that's why people say give your friends a hug, because it's rubbing their back and touching them and showing. That's how you really show love. To me, I think like the touching and the I love you.
Jerk your friends off. Masturbate.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do
that. Really show your love. But yeah, no, I think touch is really important, and it's conditioned out of us a lot.
But I think for women, a lot of stuff happens before the touch. Like foreplay starts way before you're in the bedroom.
Yeah, like when they pay the
like when you're at Hermes, or you walk by a Chanel, or
right. That
Chanel
makes sense.
is the lube.
Chanel just makes me so horny. I don't know what it is. Something about the quilting.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And I do get turned on when I touch it. So
touch. If all of that makes sense to me, and like the more you mentioned like show people when a guy shows an interest, or like does something that shows he cares, that sets the scene, right? Like that's good. I like that too, but I've also found that sometimes the like knowing nothing about a person turns me on too. Having that blank slate and just like I don't have to worry what they're thinking or anything else about their lives. We're just like in this moment, and it's like the term demisexual, which is like the more you know someone and have an emotional connection, the more sexually attracted to them you are.
Oh yeah.
Like how ugly people become less ugly. Like everyone thinks all of their friends are hot. Like my friends are so hot, and then like you set them up and the guy's like, no. And it's like, I think they're beautiful because I love them. And
so that's demisexuality. And then the opposite, which I think to some extent it's a spectrum, is phrasexual, which is like the less you know about a person, the more sexually attracted you are.
Oh, that's
I feel like that's not uncommon. Because there, like the trope of like someone being so hot and you're like, just don't talk.
Yeah.
I think that's what that is. It's like you want to project all the things you hope this person to be.
Right.
And that's interesting.
If it's just for sex, like you don't
want to know this.
Don't ruin this.
I hooked up with so many men on an app who are like hot, and we don't talk much beforehand other than talk about like what we want to do, and then afterwards, then I'm like sometimes chit-chatting as we put on our clothes and leave, and I'm like, I don't like this person. I'm glad we didn't talk before.
That's hilarious. I was always this is so weird. I am so unattracted to people like this.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I don't want to know. I feel like I've never had a relationship longer. I've had 2 relationships for 6 months and a few for 3 months before I got married.
Wow.
Steve's my only long relationship.
Wow.
It's the only person I've stayed sexually attracted to.
Amazing.
Is that weird? I am not attracted to anyone after I get to know them.
No,
at
I
all.
also think, and we've talked about this a little bit, that when you are a woman in this society and you are sort of told that you are valuable for your sexuality, that it is not a prize that someone wants to sleep with you.
Yeah, no.
It is not, I don't feel special because you want to fuck me. Like, it doesn't really...
No, because he will fuck everybody around the block after you.
Of course you want to...
I see people will say like, I was with someone because they liked me, and it's like,
no.
Interesting, because that is how I feel. Like, the biggest turn on for me is if someone's into me.
Oh, that's interesting.
That, like, I'm like, even if I wasn't into them before, if they're, like, really into me, I'm like, okay, I'm down.
That's never made me be interested in someone before.
Me either.
Huh, yeah. Yeah, because I think it makes sense, though, because of how we're conditioned based on gender. Like, I didn't have that feeling a lot when I was younger. I always had the feeling like I have to pursue what I'm interested in. No one's ever pursuing me. And so now I really like that.
But you also don't have the attachment that we have, which is that, and then that person is going to be my partner.
Right. Yeah, if someone's really interested in me, I'm very interested in sex with them, and I'm actually probably keeping them at arm's length in terms of relationship or emotion. Yeah, because then
you're
it's
like,
a little
what's
weird.
wrong with them that they're so desperate?
Yeah.
They would want me.
I'm like, why are you that into me? Yeah.
Why are you that into me?
Weird.
Something
Weird.
suspicious.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, usually, it's just for sex.
I just want you really into me and want to fuck me, okay?
Yeah. There's some people I've like had good sex with, and then they like really want to do it again. I'm actually texting a few people this week who are like very persistent, and it's turning me off.
And I'm like, ew!
Like, we did it once. It was fun. If they were like not that into doing it again, then maybe I would want to.
Right.
But they're so into it, I'm like,
It's a turn off.
Back off.
It feels like desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That is so, I'm so sorry. This is, lots of people are so different. But I swear it's just, LA's such a crazy place just in general. Dating, it really is.
Yeah.
But I cannot get over. So I do have some car questions. Some of these okay. So this car thing you're talking about.
Card or car?
No, car. The car thing. You said driving around Poinsettia.
Oh, the cruising.
At Poinsettia you're walking.
Let's talk about cruising.
Okay, cruising. Is that's walking? I thought that was in a car picking up people from the app.
You could go on the app and drive somewhere to their apartment or whatever, and sometimes people host in their car. I don't do that.
So wait, cruising is just cruising on an app to find who you're going to hook up with?
Well,
what is cruising?
That's virtual cruising now, but like real
modern day cruising.
Real cruising is usually walking around a certain like known area looking for casual, anonymous public sex. Parks, a lot of public parks, public bathrooms, shopping malls. Shopping malls are still good for something.
Where do you
What
have
mall?
sex in the mall?
What's the most
I guess in the
bisexual
bathroom.
mall? Like, where do you go?
Good question. Glendale Galleria seems pretty happening.
It's really nice too.
You can check Sniffies. You can check Sniffies and see. You can see how many people are at a known cruising location right now.
Okay.
So we could see
What is the
what's
number
the closest
one
location to here.
hot spot for cruising? I want to know.
Poinsettia Park. There's Vaseline Alley, which is like in WeHo, like it's like behind all the bars. There's like a place people go.
On the north side of Santa Monica?
I forget exactly. Why do you think it's called Vaseline Alley?
I'm just
because they sell Chanel. Larry's like,
there's the nearest cruising location to where we are right now is the parking structure behind the Bank of America.
Let's not give locations for my
I won't say which
safety.
Bank of America, but there's 3 cruisers there right now.
No, right now in the valley?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I live in WeHo, and at like 8 in the morning, I was walking out of my house on my street, and I'm like, I gotta walk to my car. I go to cross to get off the sidewalk to walk, and I see this guy laying back in his car, and then this guy sits up, looks me in the eye, and is like, and then they speed off, and I'm like,
amazing.
I guess my neighborhood's cruising.
WeHo, yeah, it is. There's a guy on Sniffies who I always see post this event. So weird. Like on his block, he goes like, he wants people to come free ball on his block, which means like don't wear underwear, and then when they get to his house, like come down the alley and like show off for him. And then like jerk off together, like him from his window, you in the alley behind his house. And he like posts this event all the time, and there's like a bunch of people that sign up to go do that.
You're kidding me.
No.
What if one of them decides to kill you?
They're down on the street. They're not in his apartment.
You're in public. It's like anyone could kill you at any time.
Yeah, that's
Wait, but he's up in his apartment?
Yeah.
So
And he
have you ever heard of a GUN?
What's a GUN?
Something that doesn't kill people. Because people kill people.
do you ever think about safety? Like, have you ever felt not safe from one of these meetups?
Yeah, I've sometimes felt like going to a meetup and like, is this safe? Is this person gonna kill me? But it's like, I don't know, it's just like anyone could kill you anytime. Like at least there's a digital record of where I'm going. So like they'd be pretty dumb to kill me.
Has anyone misrepresented, I mean I know people don't always look like their pictures, but has anyone ever just been
totally different?
Totally not truthful or...
Not really.
People are just kind of like, this is what I want and...
Yeah. That's the reason I'm not super scared of what could happen is because I've done it so many times and like people want sex more than they want to hurt someone. Like most people just want sex and
safety is more of an issue, I do feel like, I want to tell you, for women on dating apps probably than these types of dating apps. I really do think like these are really like the real let's get down and dirty apps. The dating for women is always, I watched a podcast clip on Instagram about a guy talking about his friend she went out with a guy from a dating app and he said, you know, my place is having ... done. And this is a clip I saw. And he said, would you like mind if I sleep over tonight? Like just because my place is, he was having something done at his place. And she was like, he was really cool and a nice guy. And she was like, no, that's fine. You can sleep in my living room. She went into her bedroom and locked the door. And in the middle of the night, he like beat on the door and was like, I need a phone charger. My phone charger's in there. You took the phone, and she was like jumped up or it was some story like this, and she was about to open the door. That's called a panic. When someone does something like that to you, really like, I need this right now. It's like a panic.
Ambush?
Like it's like, like trying to make her not think because it was like, and just react and open the door. And she started to do it, and then she stopped. And he was like, open the door. And she was like, you didn't have a phone, whatever it was. Anyway, she called the cops. They said, stay locked in your bedroom. We're on the way. The cops showed up and he had like plastic laid out, knives. Like he was totally going to kill her. And this guy was talking about it on a podcast. And I'm like, what the? But this guy, let me just tell you, I was on Ventura in Sherman Oaks, servicing a car. And I'm walking into a place to get lunch, and I'm just sitting there walking on the edge of Ventura, and this guy pulls a car over, opens the door to me and screams, hurry up and get in the car! And I was like, I looked behind me and I started to panic and just naturally run into the car, and then I was like, what am I doing? I had to pull myself out, and then I hauled ass into like a spiral bank door, but he was panicking me to get what was he going to do. That's why it's like being a woman is really scary.
That's so scary.
Maybe this is why there's not so many women on these apps.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be more scared. But
no, but you're not a woman.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
you could still get your ass kicked.
But
yes.
I don't know why I'm not as scared of that, but I did write for SVU for 7 years, and so like this was all in my head, and then I started to explore sex with men at the end of my 7 years there. So at the beginning I was very, very concerned. I was like, what if I'm going to meet these men and then I never return and it's all a trap and they're luring me there. And I don't know what has changed other than just so many experiences where people just want sex more than they want to hurt someone. And like, maybe I'm lucky and whatever, it's rare, but that is terrifying.
It's terrifying. But you know, the truth is like literally, it is so hard. I think like, you know, you're also like a big tall guy. Anybody's gonna be really scared of you. Nobody's gonna look at people are gonna look at Hillary and be like,
you could drug your drink and do God knows what. Like
anything could happen
possible.
Even if you're careful. I do look for red flags. Like there have been some people I've talked to on apps where like they won't send a picture or they're just weird or shady and like, you know, I just don't engage with it. But you know, there's a lot of times I think, what if this is it? And then it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all have thoughts like that. Like, walking to your car after having dinner. Like, I could be murdered right now, and that's just normal. But it sounds like it's not any different from everyday life.
Yeah, I guess so. And it's like, what can you do?
Now it's all
have anonymous
Look
sex?
at it like
I'm not
this.
gonna do that.
At least you're going to have a lot of pleasure before your death.
Right, exactly. If I die, it was worth it.
I do have some questions for you.
Okay.
We sort of talked
I love
about
the
them.
cards.
Thank you. What is something you wish more people knew about an open marriage?
I guess just like that people think that an open marriage means it's that the marriage isn't perfect or isn't doing everything for you, or like there's something wrong with it. You have to go outside to have your needs met. And the way that I look at it is like our doing that is strengthening our relationship and allowing our relationship to be what it is and what it should be. And so like just like that, taking the pressure off it and allowing each other to grow and evolve, like I think that brings us closer and allows us to be authentic with each other in a nice way. I also think people should know that it's a spectrum, right? And that like monogamy to non-monogamy is a spectrum. There's many different forms of it.
And you're way over here.
And I'm way over here. And many people are monogamous, and that's cool and natural too, and that's what they should do. And then there's this like category where it's like people say they're monogamous, but they're not. And so like we know statistically 30 to 60% of monogamous people cheat at some point. And the statistics range because people lie. But like that means there's a lot of people who are actually
there's a demand.
Not wanting to be monogamous, but say they will, and then they cheat. And to me, that's not honest with your partner. That's bad for a relationship.
Yeah, I think that's really bad. I think it's not fair. I think say let's open up the marriage.
Yeah.
Open up the marriage, and if somebody says, "Meh, I'm out," let them go. Go find someone else.
But a lot of people want to have their cake and eat it too.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just have to find the right partner for you. Like some people are monogamous, and if you're not and you're with someone who is, like you have to really talk about that and decide like what is this partnership for us? What does it mean? And how important is it versus exploring this other aspect of us? And but then there's also these like different levels of non-monogamy where I've met people who are like pretty monogamous, but then when they really think about why and what are they afraid of, like, okay, maybe there's little openings where like you're romantically and emotionally monogamous, but sometimes you
fuck someone
fuck
else.
someone. Or, and like even
Boy,
monogamous
this is
people.
gonna be a fun weekend for my husband after talking to you on this podcast.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions for him
Basically,
too. Give me the cards. Let me write them down.
Basically, you should have a BFF carve out, and you should come to BFF, and not just carve that out.
The thing is, I can't let him go, but I would love to go. Just to like dance around and be on the scene of it all, but he's not allowed to.
You gotta be part of it, I think.
What did you ask me once? You asked me, what did you ask me? What did you ask me something like, would you rather watch your husband?
Oh yeah. Would you rather
Yeah, that's what it was.
Would you rather watch your husband be with someone else?
Yeah.
Or have your husband watch you
be with someone else?
Because she's so jealous.
And and I said, why? Why would you ask me this? Now you've got this
very
question
obvious.
in my head. Now this is like running through my ADHD brain. I'm on a spiral.
And what's the answer?
I don't want to hook up with anyone else. But I just don't know. But I'm just saying that's a really good question.
Yeah. To
really F someone's entire brain up and make them think about that question once a week, all the time.
You're thinking about two options that neither of which you want.
But aren't there those like weird senators who like to watch their wife? They're like suppressed, but they want to watch their...
like being cuckolded or something and watch someone. Yeah. Well, and that happens at BFF. Like, there were guys who want to watch their wives get fucked by other guys. There were one guy who wanted 3 of us to fuck his wife while he watched, and we did that. It was great.
What is it? Everybody take a hole?
Is it one by one?
Yes, but actually there was one point where the other two guys were both eating this girl's pussy, and it was really hot to watch. Because they were like, it was almost like the two guys were making out with each other and licking her pussy at the same time. It was it was very hot to watch.
I'm very
was there like a crowd around this?
On this clip, I'm just dying.
We went to a private room for this, so it was just the 5 of us. Just 5 of us.
That is
And there were also like women who loved watching their husbands get fucked by other men.
See, some people like this stuff, Betsy.
They were like pimps for their husband. They were like trying to find someone to come fuck their husband.
I think that is like, what is that called when you get pleasure from the other
Compersion,
person?
yeah.
Compersion. That's what that is, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, well maybe
You
if I could just
seeing someone you love enjoy themselves.
And they don't get jealous.
if I want to see my husband enjoy himself, go take a mountain bike ride. He loves that. I know, really, and I love seeing him be happy.
So you have some compersion.
It's just not.
Well, the jealousy comes, I think, from like, jealousy to me is not necessarily something to run away from. It's a signal of something that needs to be addressed in the relationship.
Yeah.
So like jealousy can come up, it's natural. This book Polysecure is really good, and that's where I learned this, but it's like, if you're jealous of something, that's an important sign of like what is the fear, the anxiety there. Like jealousy, when it comes up, can be like an opportunity to talk about what the emotions are behind it and actually like strengthen a bond. So to me, jealousy is like a helpful tool, not something to like avoid at all costs.
Right. I do not avoid it. It's just like,
yeah.
Hello, honey. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
We're going to strengthen this bond right now. If you leave this bond.
I noticed that you looked at another girl's boobs. And now I must murder you.
Yeah. Yes.
Address this now before I kill you.
I'm going to address this right now. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Because no one is taking what I have trapped. I'm the one that said yes to you. Now you want someone else to come get it? No spanks. No spank you.
Well, we know what side of the spectrum you are on.
Yeah, how about you?
I don't get jealous like that, but I am sure that
So you would allow your husband, when you would open up your husband?
No, I'm not saying that. That does not interest me. But I think if I ever did do that, if I lived in a world where that was something I chose to do, I'm sure jealousy would come up. Mm-hmm. It would have to at some point.
It does with you.
Yeah, it does with me.
Does.
Not like all the time, but it does. Yeah.
And that's because we're human.
Yeah.
Okay? And tits might be a little bit more jealous than dicks. I don't know. But on that, we are going to end the podcast. Rob, we love having you!
Rob, where can our viewers find you, our listeners? Where can they hear you?
I loved being here. Thanks for having me. I have a podcast called Two Bi Guys. I renamed it Two Bi Guys by One Bi Guy because my other bi guy left the podcast. But you can search Two Bi Guys. You can find it everywhere. My website is robertbrookscohen.com. Stuff like that. Robert Brooks Cohen on social media.
Thank you so much for sharing your life, your stories, your experiences, and your apps with us.
Yes, happy to share anytime. If you want to get on Sniffies, I can help you.
I guess I want to.
I think I'm going to use the beard app.
You can dick fish some people on Sniffies.
I'm going to be like this.
What does that send?
Here's my profile picture on.
That's good.
All right, we are Tits of the House.
Tits of the House.
Tits out.
Tits out.
Tits out. There's a glory hole near you.